Hello, my name is Reverend Dale Brown, and I get to be the senior pastor here at Community Church at Ocean Pines. And the lead pastor is a part of the cooperative parish, including Bates United Methodist Church and also Trinity United Methodist Church in Newark, Maryland. Welcome in the name of Christ. I get to do devotions this week, and I look forward to them because I always like to pick themes or some ways of connecting stuff. And this week I'd like to talk about stories of great Christians. Now, it would be really easy to pick ones that everybody knows, but I want to pick some that maybe you haven't heard of except for the first one. And to say, that great cloud of witnesses that Hebrews talks about is a lot bigger and larger than what maybe we might think. So let's talk for a moment about Mother Teresa. Everybody knows her story, they think. Did you know that she was on a train traveling when she heard the voice of God speak to her and say, "Go to Calcutta and work among the poorest of the poor"? And rather than gathering supplies and doing all these things, she simply went and did what that call on Christ told her to do. She simply went to Calcutta with the clothes on her back, with no money in her pocket, with no medicine, no foundation, no place to live. And she started doing what God had called her to do. And the fascinating story is told that she one day went to a pharmacist and she said, and she had a long list of medicines she needed to help the poor and to provide medical care for the poor. And the pharmacist looked at her and said, "I'm not doing this." And she said, "That's fine. I'll just go sit outside your business and pray all day." And she did. She went right outside, sat down, and started praying. And before long, the pharmacist came out with that medicine and so much more. Another story about her is that she was given a white Cadillac. And she asked the people that gave it to her, what do I have? What purpose do I have? What value is a white Cadillac to me? And they said, "Well, we don't know, but it's yours." So when she sold the Cadillac for, I think it was like 400,000 rupees, which is, since they had gone through her an exaggerated price for the Cadillac, 100,000 or something. And she gave it to start a mission to help the poor of Venezuela. She was always concerned about the poor. And for Mother Teresa, the key was in seeing in the person who was poor, hurting and lonely, physically deformed perhaps, seeing in that person the face of Jesus. When she ministered to someone lying in the street, it was as if she was ministering to Jesus. When she helped someone who was coming from the other perspective, perhaps having money and being rich and wanting to do some small thing, she helped them encounter Christ in a deep way by saying, "Look at the poor and see Christ and minister to them." Her whole life was given to connecting people to Jesus. She wrote near the end of her life these words, and I think these words are very poignant. I read them in church the other week, and I want to read them here again because I think they're important to hear. And yes, let me put on my readers so I can make sure that I read them correctly. At the end of life, we will not be judged by how many diplomas we have received, by how much money we have made, by how many great things we have done. But we will be judged by, "I was hungry and you gave me to eat. I was naked and you clothed me. I was homeless and you took me in." I want to recommend a book to you that has so many of these stories in it. And it's by a friend of mine, James Howell. Reverend Dr. Howell is the pastor of Myers Park United Methodist Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. And he's written lots of books. The most recent one that I read was The Heart of the Psalms. We used that as a book to study during Lent in our church here in Ocean Pines. This book, an earlier book of his, is called Saints, Misfits, and Martyrs, Saints and Their Stories. And it's harder to find, but I commend it to you because it's a great, great book. And lots of the stories and lots of the details that I know about the lives of these dear people come from Dr. Howe's work. He deserves the credit. I just get the chance to tell the story. Have a great day, and God bless.